The question comes up when going through a spiritual awakening of who am I? Who am I really? Am I this identity that I believed myself to be, that I grew into? Or was that all an illusion? Was I just a character in a play? Am I just a character in the play? Am I, because I've received all this knowledge and downloads and everything, am I some kind of savior that is supposed to be here to save the world? That's a trap. And people fall into that over and over. Mental institutions are full of people who believe they're Jesus. When you go through a spiritual awakening, the pineal gland starts to work. It's an antenna to send and receive information. And we start getting all kinds of information that can be confusing. And we don't know how to process it. As we arrive on this planet and we're programmed from the moment we're born by our parents, by society, by culture, by the education system, by religion, into this matrix, if you want to call it that, of so-called reality, which is all programmed, every level. So we learn how to operate the machines, just smart enough to do that, to be able to function in this collective society, to be able to fulfill our role. But you try to break out of that, and you're going to find a lot of people don't want you to. Families, friends, people that you thought you knew and trusted your whole life. Suddenly, it's like the crab trying to crawl up out of the box. The others will try to pull you back in. And unfortunately, that doesn't work, or fortunately, that doesn't work for you, because once you've seen something, you can't unsee it. Once you've learned something, you can't unlearn it. And to do so, and to try to go back to a mundane reality which no longer interests me, would make absolutely no sense. No, once you've had a little taste of the universe, let's say, the university of universe, there's no going back. There's no wanting to go back. What happens instead is a kind of natural process of shedding things that don't work in your life anymore, which can include family and can include friends. And for me, it did all of them pretty much everyone. I spend most of my time these days now, and have for a long time. Mine was in 2006 with the Kundalini Awakening Spontaneous, which I had no idea what that was, and I'll talk about that in another video. That's kind of a long story. But so it's been going on for 18 years, long time. And now I much prefer solitude. I could say I get lonely sometimes, but not very often. I honestly, I've grown so accustomed to the harmony and peace of solitude that I crave it and that I like it. And I can go back, and I've got different friends now, mostly medicine friends, people that are in the community of ayahuasca and things like that, which I dabbled in a few years ago. Again, I'll talk about that in another video. Too much to go into there, but so I have a small group of friends that I can count on one hand that I can go back and socialize and go around and hang out with people and get my fulfillment. But I tire of that, even that, very quickly. And I just seek to go back to solitude because I find that in that quiet, there's an opportunity for great, deep, introspective work. And that's when things are quiet, is when your intuition starts to speak again. Something we've all had our whole lives, but because of all the distractions and worries and responsibilities of everyday life, it tends to get covered up and dusty, like an old compass or something. We kind of already know things about people, about jobs or partners or things like that, that we tend to brush aside our intuition and then pay for those mistakes later on in life. I certainly did and had my share of that. I don't have any of that anymore, and my friends are the stray cats and the squirrels and occasionally a family of raccoons. But nature, the wind, the quiet, and solitude can be incredibly medicinal and beneficial once we get used to it, once we start to adjust and just start to tune out all that outer noise. Because what I found over the years is that it is noise. It's a lot of noise, and it's just pulling me away from myself. And that seems to be the purpose of all these external distractions and of this three-dimensional world on the physical level, is to basically, the game here seems to be to hold on to yourself at all cost. Hold on to your real self. Hold on to your authentic self. Don't do things that go against your inner beliefs ever, for any reason, no matter what the cost. And when we do that, it's a little compromise, and then we do a little more compromise, and before you know it, we're completely lost. And I can tell you, I've known a lot of people that have made lots of money and followed the programmed path and become successful and rich, and they're completely lost. They're completely miserable. They don't, a lot of times they just want to go back to square one. And what did I do with my life? So yeah, be careful of the distractions, of the shiny stuff and the candy and all the things that they tell you. When we really, really dig down deep and look at things, it's all programming. We just do it because we're programmed to do it. Go to school, go to college, get a degree, get a job, work on your pension, and then retire when you're 70. And you can't really enjoy your life because your health has deteriorated so badly, particularly if you didn't take care of yourself. And all of a sudden, you wake up one day and you're really old, and it's like, what the fuck happened? So I totally pulled one over on myself. I lost all those years. All those years I could have been, I don't know, kayaking down rivers, traveling the world, exploring, learning new things, instead of doing the same thing over and over and over and over, this repetitive Groundhog Day lifestyle, which will just wear you down and destroy you. So who are we? I think that's important to find out. Find out who we are. Find out what we really want, because a lot of times the things that we want, we find we don't. Especially after we get them, we find they don't fulfill it all. That new thing I wanted as a teenager, that motorcycle, that car, well, it was okay for a while. It brought me some smiles and a little happiness. Did it fulfill me? No. Fulfillment lies within the heart. Fulfillment is love. Fulfillment is this incredible expansion of love and gratitude just to be alive. So I'm hoping that this channel helps some people. I've got a lot of things to say, a lot of stories to tell, a lot of insights. Subscribe if you'd like and like the video. I'm going to talk a lot about the spiritual and the physical realities, multidimensional realities, and how they merge, how they come together, how we can see certain things that happen in this life from a different perspective, a completely, sometimes opposite and conflicting perspective. But that really is the only truth. That's the only thing that matters. So that's what can diffuse the emotional attachment that this physical body and mind, our minds, our ego, programmed minds, can get attached to things here. And when we can learn and understand these higher spiritual meanings and lessons, then that can make all the difference in the world as far as how we view things. Because we can't just suppress anger and suppress fear and suppress emotions. That doesn't work. It just, they just boil up even worse later on, and usually kind of like a bomb, it just goes off in the wrong place and does absolutely no good. We just end up in this really confused state. So again, I have a lot of things to talk about, so many stories and so many experiences and so many things, and I'm still learning all the time. This is a journey that lasts for a lifetime. So yeah, please subscribe if this is helpful, and we'll see you next time.